Community radio, so just chill, enjoy yourself.
Watch your language.
What a superb track. One of my all-time favourite artists, LL Cool J, and Around the Way Girl. You're listening to The Word on Ujima, Bristol's #1 urban station. We've had some wicked music already on the show today. We've got some awesome music to come up later. We're going to meet Bez, one of the latest hip-hop talents coming out of Bristol, just signed to Wu-Tang Clang's distribution label, Protect Your Neck. He's going to be in the studio later. We're also going to be meeting Will Quick. He's a trade unionist, member of the Green Party and Bristol People's Assembly. So we're going to be putting the world to rights with him. We're also going to meet Bristol promoter Layla McKenzie and chat about women in the club scene. She says that there aren't any anymore, that they're not going out. Is it true? Not sure I believe it, but maybe you could give me your opinion and give me a text on 079 60 240 198. So all that and more on today's show, The Word, up until 4 o'clock. Okay, so joining me in the studio now, I'm really pleased to say we've got the newly elected Labour councillor, Mike Davis. Hi, Mike.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, so thanks so much for coming down today.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, no, absolute pleasure. Now let's just get a few basics, background information about you. Now, you're a councillor for which ward?
ASHLEY Ward, which is St Paul's, St Werburgh's, Montpellier and St Andrews.
Right, okay. Now, I take it you live in that area?
No, I actually live in Redfield.
Okay, so why did you stand for that ward?
Well, I knew that ward quite well. I mean, I've always grown up in Bristol, and I've been campaigning a lot for the Labour Party for years.
Have you?
Especially for Thangham Debonair, who's the MP now.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of work for her in ASHLEY Ward. So I knew it quite well, and it's a great place to be. It's a great place to represent.
Sure, absolutely. So why Labour Party?
Well, I think, all the social progress that's been made in the last 100 years has been due to Labour governments, and that's something I wanted to contribute to.
Sure. Yeah, no, I get that. Now, now, as I understand it, being a councillor isn't like your full-time job.
No.
So what do you do outside of that?
I work for Thangham, actually, for Thangham Debonair, because after she was elected, she needed to get a team together. So.
Oh, how that's incredible! So that must be like a sort of lifelong ambition. Is politics something you've always wanted to get into?
Well, I've been a Labour member since I was a teenager.
Yeah, so obviously that's
an
incredible job to have got. You must be over the moon with that. How long have you been doing it for?
Since she was elected last May.
Wow. So what does your role involve? What sort of things do you have to do?
Well, Bristol West constituency, we have very politically engaged constituents, and they contact us a lot with letters, phone calls, emails about all the issues that are going on, all the things that the government are doing. So I help Thangham.
Or not doing.
Or not doing, yeah, of course. So I help Thangham with responding to all those questions and comments constituents have.
So you're really on the street hearing about what's going on, what people are unhappy about. Is there one particular subject at the moment that you're finding that people are really unhappy about?
Oh, yeah. It's the EU referendum.
Really?
The result, we had 4,000 emails since the result was announced.
Wow. And what's the general sort of feedback?
Well, 80% of Bristol West voted Remain.
Well, what a surprise, yeah.
People are very unhappy with what's happened.
Of course they are. And the majority of people in Bristol voted to Remain, didn't they? 63%. Yeah. So that's phenomenal, isn't it? When you think about how close the vote was nationally. Anyway, it does surprise me. Do you think that they will actually, because to proceed with the divorce proceedings is what they're calling it, they have to trigger this Article 50.
Yeah.
And it will take kind of a couple of years to happen. Do you think it will actually happen? I'm wondering at this stage if anyone's got the bottle to do it.
Well, the next Prime Minister will be a Tory. It will be Andrea Leadsom or it will be Theresa May, and they both pledged to make it happen.
Right.
But, it will be difficult, and it does have to go through Parliament, and some MPs have said they will vote against it. It's the 1972 Communities Act we have to repeal to trigger Article 50 to leave the EU. Right. So some of the MPs have said they would vote against it.
So so it's not a done deal?
No, not at all.
Not at all. And that, I think, is really important to talk about that, because the day after, or the day they announced the EU referendum, I had Asha Craig in the studio. Newly elected councillor.
She's great.
Remember, oh my gosh, she's amazing, isn't she?
Yeah.
Beautiful inside and out.
Yeah.
Just one of those most incredible people. And it's just such a breath of fresh air to have people like Asha, representing the people, and Marvin, our new mayor.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Isn't he?
Yes.
And having Asha, and I feel a bit like, I know I haven't got to know you very well, or Carol, but I met you at the carnival meeting, so you're obviously people that care, and I can see you're a really nice, chilled out kind of guy.
Thank you.
It's just such a breath of fresh air to have some real people representing us, the people.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic. Really pleased.
And that's the thing we want. We want to be out there, meeting people, understanding what people's problems are, not just sat in the council house.
There's so many problems with politics at the moment, isn't
Definitely.
there? And that's why so many people don't vote, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they can't relate to the people that are supposedly representing them. And this is what we need, and what we're moving forward with here in Bristol. It's so great to see.
And that's why, a lot of people voted to leave the EU, because it was a protest against what they saw as the establishment. And so those kind of concerns, they have to be addressed now.
Yeah, absolutely. So is this Carol's going to come and join us in the studio as well? And Carol Johnson is a newly elected councillor as well. Hi, Carol. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
No, absolutely welcome. Yes, absolutely. Now, which ward do you cover?
ASHLEY Ward.
ASHLEY Ward as well. Okay, so how does that work? Is it like a job share, or is it usual to have two councillors in one ward?
Well, historically, ASHLEY Ward has had two councillors. For the first time, we've got three.
Wow, so who's the
two or
third?
three. Jude English.
Oh, okay.
From the Green Party.
Of course. So just to clarify, you're with the Labour Party, and before you arrived, I just wanted to get to know Mike a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit of history about what he does outside of this, and what kind of inspired him to get into this. What's your job outside of being a councillor? Because I was just explaining that it isn't your full-time job, it's a part-time assignment, shall we say.
Exactly.
So what else do you do?
Right, well, first thing is I'm a mum of two. I've got two young children.
Yeah.
First job, 4 and 6.
Oh, well, there you go. That is a massive job on its own,
yes,
isn't
you can
it?
see how tired I look.
Yeah,
yes.
no, you don't. You look beautiful. Goodness me, I wish I looked like that when my kids were that age.
You can come anytime. Yes. Well, at the moment, I am being a full-time mum, if you can call it that. My background, however, is in social work. I'm a qualified social worker. I'm also a qualified primary school teacher. I'm currently a magistrate in the adult court, and also a lay judge in the family court. So that's busy. I'm a school governor to 3 schools at the moment, and
anything else? That's
dishwasher
incredible.
at home.
Yeah, no, but I mean, goodness me. I mean, the first thing you said is full-time mum, which I totally relate to. You know, I gave up my career. I'm a single mum, no family. I felt I had no choice but to give up my career. So how the hickory heck do you manage to do all of that?
But do you know what? There's some skills that you get from being a mum that you don't have before.
Sure.
And you certainly learn how to juggle.
Yeah.
And also you learn how to prioritise, and you learn how to cooperate. So if there's only one green sock and a yellow sock this morning, that will do nicely. And you learn to get on with people, I think, in a new way, in a different way. It's helped me to listen to others and to hear what they're really saying without their words. So that's really come in handy as well. But I have to say that when I became a mum, I suddenly found myself, as you probably did, doing 20-hour days. And I had
Absolutely.
So I
didn't sleep for 3 years.
But there you go. I just decided that if I'm going to be awake for that long, I might as well do something with the time. So this is how, things transpire. So if I'm going to be awake, I might as well read. I might as well call people. I might as well do something with that.
Oh, Carol, I have the utmost respect for you. Honestly, I don't know how you do it. We're going to have to go over for the news now.
Okay.
But we'll come back and have a little bit of a chat about the referendum result, the impact on that on the community, and where we go from here.
Okay,
that'd be great. So we're speaking to councillors Mike Davis and Carol Johnson. You're listening to The Word on Ujima, Bristol's #1 urban station. We're going to go over to our studios at the BBC now for the latest headline. Just heard about Mrs Debonair resigning from Jeremy Corbyn's frontline bench. What's this about?
Did.
What's going on?
Well, as you know, a leader in opposition has a front bench of about 90 MPs who have different briefs, like Thangham was arts and culture, then there's education, health, all those ones. About 2/3 of those MPs resigned from the front bench because they felt that the situation with Jeremy Corbyn's leadership was untenable. They tried to do their best. These were MPs, they were from all wings of the party. They tried to do their best, but they became so frustrated with how things had been managed, with the performance of the party and with the EU referendum result. They felt that Jeremy Corbyn hadn't supported the Labour Remain campaign, and so they want to start a process of looking at whether the leadership should change.
Wow.
Yeah.
Massive. I mean, we're going through a lot at the moment in this country, aren't we?
Yes.
And Carol, just before you joined us, we're talking about the impact of the referendum, and the day that it was announced, the results were announced. I had Ashley Craig in the studio, and it was very despondent, very doom and gloom. And we're trying to sort of look at what positives we can now sort of bring into light about it all. And I was saying to Mike before you arrived that will it ever actually happen? Do you think that we will actually ever leave the EU referendum? Because with all the hassle of having to trigger Article 50 and start divorce proceedings and that, do you think there'll be a Prime Minister that will actually do it?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, and this is the problem, is it? Nobody seems very sure of anything at the moment.
Yeah, but it's right to be honest and open about it. And I think that what is also right is to start respecting each other. There are some times in life when we have to agree to disagree. And if my opinion is different to yours, that doesn't give me the right to assault you in any way, whether that's verbally, emotionally, psychologically, whatever way. I have to respect what your opinion is. Your opinion is your opinion. And for me, democracy is the winner. We have to stay on the side of democracy and listen to the people. You can't give the people a vote and then not listen to what they have to say. On the other side of that, if MPs have a difference of opinion, they also have the right to say so. And if they feel that they can't serve under a particular leader, then that is their right also, and they should not be attacked for their opinion either. I think we need to stop acting like school children in the playground and start acting like the adults that we really are. And any minute now, everyone's going to calm down and remember who they really are, get hold of their integrity and their character, and that we're going to move forward together cohesively. That's what we're going to do.
Well, I love to hear you speak so positively. Thank you. This is what we've been looking for. Just some real positive words on what's going on, because of the hate crimes and the increase in that is just shocking. The racist rhetoric that went along during the campaign was toxic.
Yes.
And it's just left us torn apart. We now need to rebuild upon that, don't we? And take it from there. I just wanted to ask you, Carol, what inspired you to take on this path of being a councillor? We spoke to Mike about this earlier.
Oh, okay.
What about for you?
Really interesting for me. I did not know I was interested in politics until about 10 years ago, I think. And I was...
You must have been very young then.
Yeah, I was 12.
Yeah. I could believe you though.
But I was very fortunate to come across an organisation called Operation Black Vote, and they inspired me actually. And
Brilliant.
I was invited along to do a year-long programme, which was shadowing a councillor, which I did, and I thought, this is quite interesting. Yeah, I feel like maybe I could do something, but I wasn't sure. So I left it for a while. I knew that I had opinions, but you don't know if you can be a voice. There's a difference, isn't there?
Absolutely.
So after that, I got interested in magistracy, actually, which was almost a natural progression from my career, which was social work, teaching, social work again. So I've had a lot of input in my life from the legal side of things, legal professions, and so I've seen through those lenses, if you like, and also from the very negative sides of life. and I left social work because I felt that I was only ever dealing with crises, and I wanted to make a difference for the young people that I was working with proactively. And for me, that meant possibly through teaching. Maybe I could teach them, sow seeds that they could grow of resilience to help them make different choices, better choices, help them to say no, and have less of our children getting into trouble in the first place. I did end up going back into social work, largely because of financial issues, and that was like disappointing for me, because it's better to do something that your passion is and get paid for it,
absolutely,
than have to work to get
Pay the
money.
bills,
Yeah. So anyway, that's a lot of women's positions, men's positions as well, to be fair. So from that point on, I had all of this experience. I'd worked with so many people in so many various positions in life, struggling to get through. I felt that somehow, some way, I had crawled on my hands and knees through the same experiences and managed to get through to the other side. And at that point, I thought maybe I could be a voice. So I raised the question to myself, and what I felt politically was at the time and now, I wasn't happy with the way things were. I couldn't see anybody that I felt was talking for me when I talked to other people. So I challenged myself, because I had a choice. I felt either I accept things the way that they are, knowing that it will either stay the same or get worse for me, or I step into the arena and try to make things happen. And at the time that I stepped in, I felt that even if the only thing I achieve is that I get other people to stand up, from my community, other women, other young people who are disengaged at the moment, if I got 10 of those people, 20, 100 of those people coming through because I dared to, then I felt that I would have done something, to improve our general lot. So I stepped into the arena, which is not easy to do, for lots of different reasons. We're on radio, so you can't see me. I'm female, I'm black, I'm a single parent. I know what it means to struggle and have to get by anyway. I've chosen not to go down a path of crime myself, which some people make that choice to live. So, I've stepped into the arena because of those reasons. I want to see more of us do well. And when I say us, I'm talking about other women, I'm talking about other black people, I'm talking about my children and your children, I'm talking about Labour Party members as well. Do you know what I mean? I'm serious about that. I want to see other people with the same values coming through and standing up and making things better for us. If we all do the little bit that we can do, there's no way that those little bits together won't make something big.
Great, excellent. Thank you so much, Carol. We're very short of time now. Mike, can I just ask you, when you were voted in as councillor, what was the first thing that you wanted to do?
First thing I wanted to do,
a priority for you?
Well, I think a lot of people in ASHLEY Ward, they feel ignored, they feel disengaged, especially in St. Paul's. And the first thing I wanted to do was to get out there and tell people who I was, meet them face to face, let them know that I was here for them and Carol was here for them. And, we had ways of addressing their issues, with things like housing, with things like waste disposal, graffiti, crime, all those things. If you have good local councillors and a good mayor, which we do have, it can make a big difference.
Yeah, sure. Carol, what's your sort of priority for you?
Well, do you know what? We had a meeting before this one, and one of the things that came out of it was that we really want people of ASHLEY Ward and wider to understand, that we care. And that we're listening to what they've got to say. And I was saying to Mike that, do you know what, we need to let people where we're going to be and when we're going to be there, so that they know that we're there for them. And, you know, I really do believe that psychologically, sometimes if you just know that there's somebody that's looking out for you, that can stick up for you, that can speak on your behalf, it makes you feel better, it makes you behave better, you know, knowing that you're not on your own. I think when people feel isolated, disengaged, you're more likely to get aggressive, you're more likely to go on a defense mode. We want to use those energies for positive measures, not for negative. And we want people to know that we are there for them, we're listening, we care. We haven't had Labour councillors for 15 years, so we're the first in a long time. So we're trying to lay really good foundations for cohesion. We've got lots of different diverse communities living in ASHLEY Ward, and we want people to come together and use their energy for positive measures, not for negative, and that we want them to know that we're there for them.
Great, thank you very much. Our time has run out. Carol, you're going to have to come back in again because I wanted to talk to you about being a magistrate.
Oh,
I've got so many questions. It must be,
Okay.
you must have such an insight on life, doing a job like that. You know,
Yeah.
does it get you down? One thing I wanted
No,
to ask.
it doesn't get
Doesn't
me
it?
down.
I
No,
would
I'm a
find
bit
it
tougher
really
than
hard.
I look.
Right.
Yeah.
Well done. Thank you so much, Carol
you.
Johnson and Mike Davis,
Thank you.
locally Labour's newly elected councillors for ASHLEY Ward.
ASHLEY Ward, that's
Thank
it.
you so much for coming
Thanks
in
for
today.
having
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So you're listening to The Word on Ujima. Wow, what an amazing couple of people. Really exciting to have such genuine people representing us in our communities. It's a breath of fresh air. So coming up soon, hopefully, we're going to meet Will Quick from Bristol People's Assembly, and Yzer's joining us in the studio, and also the rapper Tip for the Top, beat Yzer, just signed to Wu-Tang Clan's label Protect Your Neck. All that and more on this week's Word. We're just going to take a little break. We'll come back with some music shortly.